I'm Sophia Moermond. I'm one of the MPs here in the upper house, and I've been invited to speak, so thank you all for coming here today, and thank you also to all of those who have emailed me. We have received an incredible volume of emails from people who don't agree with some of the sections in this bill as well. And I am speaking here today too because I have concerns too, and I can see many of my concerns on the signs that you have here. It's great to see so many of you. In September last year, I spoke specifically about othering and dehumanisation in Parliament and how this can lead to increasingly oppressive governance and violence. A clear example of othering, for those of you who don't know, is what we've seen here, is calling people anti-vaxxers, versus pro-choice or anti-mandate. And it is so easy to dismiss people if you have a derogatory name for them. So when we look at history and we look at othering and dehumanisation, it ends up in violence. Now, I abhor violence. I abhor all kinds of violence, and I will always try and speak out against that where I can. What I'm seeing in this legislation particularly is a lack of accountability and an escalation of authoritarianism, both of which can be precursors to increased violence. Now, being able to retroactively appoint a COVID officer using people without medical knowledge, without qualifications, and with no recourse for those who might be affected by the actions is a major concern. This bill heralds an incredible amount of power to non-elected persons, once again with very little accountability. Now, the only part of the bill that provides any guidance as to what might limit an intervention is the term reasonable. Now, reasonable is a term that is open to a wide variety of interpretations and depends on a person's own personal experiences what they view as reasonable. We need for our government to clarify what that is. We have a right to know what reasonable actually means, because that is how we can make informed decisions about who we want to govern us. Currently, the division in our society in WA is still very, very large. And I appreciate that for some people, it can be very scary moving away from the COVID measures that we've had. However, most people now have been vaccinated. Likely more of us even have had COVID. The bill is scary, I agree with you. So, as a society, we need to heal, but we also need to move on. The rest of the world has moved on from COVID. Right? Western Australia needs to move on too. Thank you.